What is going on, everyone? Kevin here for Channel Mana Leak, doing another 8-4 Gatecrash draft. We got a pretty good pack here, actually. Got some options. Sky Knight Legionnaire is very good. I like Basilica Screecher a lot if I'm in an Orzhov type deck. Gore Clan is really good, and Consuming Aberration is just an absolute bomb if you're running Dimir, which I don't think I've done a Dimir draft yet, so I think I might scoop up the Consuming Aberration here and give it a try. I mean, it seems pretty good, actually. So, what the hell, let's run it. But these cards, all three of these are really good, and there's no way Screecher's going to get back to us. Doesn't look like anything's going to get back to us. If anything, it'd be the Phantom, but I don't really think so. But we're going to run a Consuming Aberration. Let's give it a try. Okay, of note, not going to play Whispering Madness. Sky Knight Legionnaire number 2 would have been pretty sick. Guardian of the Gateless is also really good. Dinrova Horror is actually pretty good. I'd actually like to take the Screecher here, but I'm going to take the Horror. My curve already is going to be pretty high, but this can act like removal if they're out of cards, and if nothing else, it tempos them out and you get a big body for it. So we're going to go ahead and run the Dinrova here. Okay, here there's not a ton for us. Death's Approach is probably pretty okay in our deck, assuming we can get some other guys like Sage's Road Denizens and Balustrade Spies, things like that. The best cards in the pack is probably Syndic of Tithes. Yeah, I would say Syndic of Tithes is the best card in the pack. There may be Scorchwalker, Active Treason. Leyline Phantom's pretty good too. Our curve's already pretty high, but it's a big body. Of note, we do have 2 Dimir cards, which is okay, but it does make it hard to say, oh, we're going to switch it up and go to, like, Orzhov or something. I mean, I could play Orzhov and splash, like, a couple blue for a Consuming Aberration. That's a possibility, too. And maybe Syndic is good enough that it's worth doing that here. One of these cards will probably come back. I am going to take the Syndic here. Alright, not a lot of good cards in this pack. The Shanktail's pretty good. It does look like maybe Boros is kind of open, but I think we're going to stick with this plan. Death Cult Rogue is fine. You can take up a couple Cypher type deals. Works pretty good with Death Cult. Dimir Keyrune is okay also. I think I'd rather have the Death Cult Rogue, though. This could wheel, potentially. Maybe. Although maybe I would rather have that if I end up with white. No, I think I'm just going to take the Death Cult Rogue. Alright, so it does look like red's pretty open. Madcap Skills is good. But there's a lot of good cards in this pack, actually. Syndic of Tithes I like a lot. I'd play the Gutter Skulk. Don't mind the Death's Approach. Play a Sage's Road Denizen or a Gridlock. But here I'm taking the Balustrade Spy. No matter what we play, we're going to be playing black. So I like Balustrade Spy a lot. I'd say between these two, it's pretty comparable, but I like the Flyer, even without the Extort. Alright, so here, another pretty good red card. Nothing too great, but most cards in this pack that are good are red and white. I mean, we could play this as a double black, this is a black, but I think our blue cards are probably good enough. We probably don't want to go white. Assault Griffin's probably the best card in this pack. It's between the Assault Griffin and the Keyrune. Orzhov Guildgate's a possibility too if we wanted to splash white, although if you watch my videos, not a fan of splashing a third color generally. I mean, I'm not going to be splashing 4 Syndic of Tithes, although it's a good mana fixer if we end up doing something other black and blue. But I'm going to take the Keyrune. It's also it acts as a fixer, plus I could just play it. Alright, and then Smite is by far the best card in this pack, and I could actually splash that with a white, so I'm going to take the Smite. Well, nothing's really good in this pack. I could take the Shadow Alley Denizen. It's okay. I'm going to take the Orzhov Keyrune, though, in case I need it for some of my white fixing. Here, Midnight Recovery might be okay with like a Consuming Aberration or a Dinrova Horror. Get back one of my guys, plus have some unblockable guys with like the Key Rune. It's that or is... let's see, I got an Aerial Maneuver or a Zorichi Tiger. I think I'm going to take the black card. Like I said, I'm playing black for sure. Here, I think Slate Street Ruffian is playable. I don't want to play Whispering Madness, so it's Slate Street Ruffian or Beckon Apparition, and I think I'd rather just play the 2/2. Okay, well the Leyline Phantom did come back. Leyline, not really sure how you say that, but I also would play Psychic Strike in this deck, but I think I'd rather have the body right now. That's a sideboard card. Used it before. Alright, I will take the Beckon Apparition here. So, right now, mostly Dimir. I don't really want to splash white for these two cards at the moment, but let's see what happens in pack 2. Prefer not to play the Midnight Recovery, probably. Okay, well there's a lot of cards here. Ogre Slumlord's what we're taking. I've ran this guy before. He's pretty nuts. If you can keep him alive, once you start getting 1/1 Death Touch rats, you're pretty tough to beat. Killing Glare is also super good, and I would be happy to take it if the Slumlord wasn't here. Obviously, Homing Lightning, another Balustrade Spy. Something might wheel for us in this pack. Not Killing Glare because it's too good. Probably not the Spy either, but maybe the Shadow Slice, which I would play. I would even take the Mortar Strider in case I get a guy that sacrifices or I need to gum up the ground. So between all these black cards, well, we're taking this one, but between 1, 2, 3, 4, and a Sage's Row Denizen, I bet one of those cards comes back to us. Probably not the Balustrade Spy or the Killing Glare, but maybe one of these three, and we could play them. So, but for now, we're going to take the Ogre Slumlord. Not happy to pass the Killing Glare. Actually could use some removal, but Slumlord too good. I think Slumlord's pretty good. I've only played with it once, but it was very good when I did play it. So we do want to keep our curve down a little bit. Although Dimir's okay, getting a little bit up in the bigger drops. So there's not really anything too good for us here. I don't know that I want to play second Leyline Phantom. Not playing Horror of the Dim. Don't really want to play Clinging Anemones either. I'd probably, out of these cards, I'd probably rather have the second Leyline Phantom. So now's the time where you have to figure out, basically, wow, the guy behind us isn't red either. It doesn't look like, unless he opened a nice rare, but anyway, I guess we could have been red and been in good shape. What do we have in blue? Anything that we have to play in blue. Just the Leyline Phantom and splash a Consuming Aberration. I mean, we could probably go white and splash like the Dimir Key Rune just for our big blue drops and just play more of an Orzhov type deck, because I think 2 Syndic of Ties, I mean, I'd rather go that way, and if I really want to play the third color, I can still run Leyline Phantom, but we're pretty black, and I think Smite and Syndic of Ties are just stronger than most of the cards we've seen. I'm going to take the second Syndic of Ties, and I think we're probably going to end up Orzhov, although as I say that, Agoraphobia is probably the best card in this pack for what we're trying to do. And Keymaster's okay. I'm not really a fan of Keymaster. This pack's pretty weak in general. I'm not going to play Purge the Profane. Debtor's Pulpit's okay, but slow. I mean, probably going to be slow anyway. I think here this one's a little bit tough. I think we're going to play white because two Syndics and a Smite. I don't really want to play straight 3 colors, so I mean, I guess Agoraphobia is okay for splashing 2. I'll just take it. We'll see where we end up, I guess. Alright, and good green and red cards again. So here I like Smite. The Prism's probably not bad for our deck either, because it looks like we're going to be probably 3 colors, but I think I'd rather have another Smite. I actually like these cards too, so hopefully something comes back for us, but Wow, Ground Assault. This is a super good card, so no one to our left is Gruul, and we saw so many red cards coming from the right, so apparently no one's playing those colors. For us, the choice is probably Court Street Denizen if we want to try to stick white, or Hands of Binding if we were going to play blue. And this is kind of where it's tough being stuck in between, because Court Street Denizen's more of a aggressive card, and we're not really going to be too aggressive, probably. We have 2 white creatures, so it's not going to do a whole lot for us, and I guess based on that I should take the Hands of Binding, so we still don't know exactly where we're going to be. Here, got a couple options. The Death's Approach is okay. I mean, we have a Balustrade Spy to help turn it on. And a Consuming Aberration. Nothing too amazing at the moment. But I'd say the choice is between the Death's Approach and the Executioner Swing. This one locks us in. I mean, it looks... The problem is our 4 white cards are probably some of our better cards. I think Executioner Swing's a worse card, but I don't want Death's Approach to be a brick, so I'm going to take the Executioner Swing. Alright, well then the Soul Ransom gets all the way to us, so... I don't really want to be 3 color, but it looks like we may be 3 color here. Which means we're going to have to pick up some fixing, but I think Soul Ransom is just way the best card. I like it a lot better than Syndicate Enforcer or anything like that, so alright. Looks like we're going to be a 3 color deck, which I really don't like at all, really. So, okay, well these 2 came back to us. I am going to take the Shadow Slice. We might need a way to win a game, and Shadow Slice can win games. Alright, so this isn't going super well. And by super well, I mean it's going pretty poorly. Oh, that's a nice Prophetic Pigeon, though. I'm really happy this wheeled for us. I didn't expect it to, and man, do we need it. So, that's really good. Gonna have to move up, gonna have to step up our fixing. I mean, I don't really want to play both an Orzhov and a Dimir Keyroom, but I suppose I could do that if I have to. It's not really the plan, but, I'm definitely got some cards in here I would be happy to not play, like Clinging Anemones, and we'll see. I don't love being where we're at. Plus we need some more creatures. The only thing we are really for sure is black. I mean, we're pretty even on white and blue. The only thing I would say about our white cards is our white cards are better than our blue cards, for sure. So I guess we'll see what happens here in Pack 3. Alright, here we are in Pack 3. Again, some pretty sick red cards, Mugging, Halberdiers. But for us, I think it's got to be a Balustrade Spy. Death's Approach would be fine if it got back to us. Metropolis Fright's fine, but I like the Balustrade Spy best. Alright, well there's a Treasury Thrill. That's a good card. Our curve is going to be pretty high, and we don't really have a ton of fixing at the moment, but Basilica Guards is good. Syndicate Enforcer is fine, but Treasury Thrill, that's what we're playing. And Pit Fight is another one of my favorite cards. I don't know if it's one of my favorite, it's really good. But for us, I think it's got to be the Bane Alley Broker. I mean, we're definitely pretty heavy 3 colors. This guy will help us get through stuff through our deck, even though it's very slow. It can win a game if it sticks around, so that's what we're going to try. And we don't have any gates or anything, although picking one up would be good, but we do have a Prism and one of each of the key runes and the colors we need. I mean, it's always possible I could just cut white also, or just splash white for like a Treasury Throw or an Executioner Swing. I guess even Smites are okay for splashing, so I guess we're mostly blue-black, and I can probably just not play some like Clinging Anemones, things like that. So as I say that, there's another Syndic of Tithes. But I think, I mean, we're pretty much blue-black at the moment. Very blue-black with just an Executioner Swing, a Treasury Throw, and some good guys. I think I've got to take the Death Cult Rogue here. It's good. It'll maybe get us through with a Shadow Slice, along with some of our other flying guys. It's definitely between the Death Cult and the Syndic of Tithes, but I think, even though I do love me some Syndic of Tithes, but I think that we're looking mostly blue-black, especially with these cards. So I think we want to keep our white to a minimum, even though there's some pretty good white cards. Now, as I say that, there's Orzhov Charm, but this is an okay card to splash because, you know, I don't have to draw it early. Same with like the Smites, they're good late game, so I can just splash a couple white cards. Like same with the Treasury Throw and Executioner Swing, I don't have to draw them early, which is why I may not even be able to play these Syndic of Tithes. The Guildgate would be fine too, but the Charm is too good. And there's a Kingpin's Pet. So as I say that I want to be blue-black, one of my favorite Orzhov commons comes around, and I guess our deck's just going to be all over the place. So, another Smite, which is awesome, but I'd rather have the guy here since I already have two Smites. Here I am going to take the Orzhov Guildgate. It's just, I would play probably any of these three, but the Guildgate is just pretty much what we need, especially with the white. Here I'm just going to pull the Massive Raid. I'm not going to play the Debtor's Pulpit, so I will play the Syndicate Enforcer, so I'll take that. I'm not going to play any of those cards. And not going to play any of those cards. And sideboard card. And I mean, we have a lot of playables. Mostly not that amazing. I mean, I'm not going to play the Midnight Recovery, probably, because I got a Treasury Throw, and I'm probably going to play like a Beckon Apparition. Let's see what we're not playing. All these cards are pretty good, actually. Probably not the Slate Street Ruffian. Alright, so that's the draft. I'll come back here in a sec when I have my deck pretty much built and talk about my last few choices. Alright, so I think, even though I normally prefer just to play two color, I think I'd rather play my white cards because they're good. Syndic of Tithes is obviously better if you drop it on turn 2 than, you know, turn 7, but at least it still has Extort, which works. Kingpin's Pet, Syndic Enforcer, some flyers with Balustrade Spies, Soul Ransoms. So, definitely more white than I want to be. I do have a Guildgate and a Prophetic Prism. So basically I'm trying to decide on my 23rd card. These are the ones I would, well, I'm playing this, but these are the ones I would consider for my 23rd card. And even though I like Executioner Swing and I could use more removal, I think I'm going to stick with the two Smites and the Orzhov Charm for that. Kind of the Soul Ransom sort of as removal, I guess. My curve's pretty high also, so I think even though I like Leyline Phantom, I'm not going to be running it here. So it means I'm pretty much choosing between my two key runes. I like the Dimir one best. 2/2 unblockable is better than 1/4 lifelink. But I really could use the white fixing, and so I think I'm going to play the Orzhov key rune for the fixing. Although at that point, would I rather just play an extra planes? You know what, I am going to play, maybe a little bit greedy, I'm going to play the Dimir key rune, even though it doesn't fix the colors I want. And it's still sort of like playing an extra land, kind of. So, we're running, yeah, this is probably a bit greedy. 7 white cards. Actually, we're running more white cards than blue cards. Ugh, that's probably not good at all, actually. I guess the Jameer key rune helps in that regard. Yeah, 7 white, 6 blue, although these kind of work with blue. 7 white, 6 blue, we'll call it 7 between these two, so 7, 7, 7, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15, 16, 7, 9, 16. Alright, yeah, that doesn't look good. That doesn't look good at all. Would I rather just not play white? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. I have to add 9 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's not gonna work. I think 4, 4, 8, huh? I think maybe we want to go like that. That looks bad. That looks pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. This does not look good. 4 islands and a key rune. So that's 4, 5, 6. And that leaves me 3, 6, 7 plains and 9 swamps. Alright, I don't think this is gonna go well, but I think playing just white or just blue is a lot weaker. Because I have some strong white cards. I mean, I could also just play like a couple smites and not play these 3 creatures, but I think they're strong enough. It's better to play them in the treasury thrall. So that's what we're going to do. Not overly optimistic, but maybe if we draw out okay, we can gum up the ground and smite our way to victory. So see you in round 1.